Hey everybody, welcome to the Rise or Die podcast with Stephen M. Lowisz, episode 29. You get 100% of what you prioritize. One of the things that I do every single week is every Sunday, I try to take a look back at the previous week and even the previous months and see where I'm at compared to where I want to go. Obviously, if you don't know where you're at, but you do know where you want to go, think about if you were lost in the forest and you had a map and a compass, but you didn't know where you were starting from. Meaning, you have no idea what to do from there. You have no direction, you have no path. And one of the things that I realized over the last couple of days is, I've made progress across body, being, balance, and business for the last 15 months or so since I've been working on it. But I haven't reached a lot of the big, lofty targets that I've set out for myself. For example, I used to be a hell of a lot heavier than I am, but I've been trying to lose the same 15 pounds for the last 6 to 9 months. I lost a lot of weight right up front. I kept a lot of it off. But the fact of the matter is, it doesn't take 9 months to lose 15 pounds. It takes like 3 weeks. When you're a 22-year-old dude that, works out 2-3 hours a day. And when I look across, business, sure, I've made some strides there, but I realize that I've done more planning and more strategy and more back-end work than I have true marketing and selling, which is crazy because in, 5-6 days, I'm no longer employed by someone else. I'm self-employed, so that doesn't make any sense. And when I look at my marriage, sure, I've made tons of progress. My marriage is unrecognizable from what it was, 18 months or so ago. I actually enjoy being married, whereas I used to hate it, and she'd tell you the same thing. But I don't have what I want out of marriage. And same thing for being. I don't feel as connected to God as I should, and although I've made improvements, I'm not where I want to be. And I started to look at, what's the root cause of this? What's the root cause that I'm not getting what I want? What the targets and the results that I desire for the, quote unquote, have it all lifestyle. Across body, being, balance, and business, what's keeping me behind? I work a lot. I do my core 4 pretty much every single day. Meaning I invest in each area of the core 4 every single day. Probably 7 out of 8 days a week. So when I look at what the root cause of it was, I realize it's just priorities. And that seems really simplistic, but let me put it in this way, and hence the title of this episode. You get 100% of what you prioritize. So we all have the same 24 hours in the day. Warren Buffett has the same amount of time in a day as the bum on the street. But when we look at how they use it, their priorities are much different. Now, somewhat understandably so, one's needing food, one has all the food that he could ever ask for. But let's make it a little bit more practical, a little bit more close to home for us. What'd you do last night? Saturday night. Did you work out, or did you work on your business, or invest in your family, or did you go out drinking? Well, if what you wanted to do was drinking, that's exactly what you're going to get, and you're going to get the hangover that comes from it. But if you prioritize actually investing into your core 4, yes, even on Friday and Saturday nights, you would be better off in your core 4. If you didn't prioritize sleep, you would get up at 4 a.m. if needed, and you would get shit done. If you didn't prioritize Netflix and sitting on the couch relaxing before you go to bed and then sleep in, if you didn't prioritize Netflix and you started prioritizing your core 4, how much further along in life would you be? And how much more satisfied and fulfilled would you be? We get 100% of what we prioritize. The problem is most of us prioritize bitching, whining, excuses, reasons for not getting what we want. We prioritize sleep, we prioritize rest, we prioritize everything but results. You get 100% of what you prioritize. You prioritize family, great. You're going to have some awesome family relationships. The same thing goes across body, being, balance, and business. So what I'll leave you with today, this is a short episode, as we wrap up episode 29, across body, being, balance, and business, what are you prioritizing? Not like what in your head do you think is your priority? Because if you ask me, I would say, 100% of the time, well, it's success across body, being, balance, and business. The fact of the matter is I don't have the results I desire. So the fact of the matter is I'm not prioritizing my core four the same way that I should. Across body, being, balance, and business, what are you truly prioritizing, and what's getting in your way of getting the results that you demand? I'll talk to you again tomorrow for episode 30. As always, do someone a favor, share this podcast with someone that needs a little kick in the ass, someone that you want more for out of their life. And then in addition, subscribe to some of our exclusive content at riseordiepodcast.com. I'll talk to you tomorrow.